Hi everybody, and welcome to day 12, I think, of this video challenge. And what a day it's been. I am at the point of, if I use a birthing analogy, I think that that's probably the best thing to do, because those of us who have had children will know that when we're at this point of birthing something, whether that's a book or a child, well, not a child, but sometimes it feels like a child, a baby, it can get quite painful. The forceps are out, the epidurals are being spoken about. It's push, breathe, push. And it's one hell of a journey at this point of launching a book. And it takes a lot of coordination, especially when you're working with a group of people from around the world, crossing time zones. And when you're all running businesses, you all have your own commitments. Yeah, it's always been a very interesting journey for me whenever I launch a book, because every single book that I've launched has been very, very different. I've been in very different places around the world. There have been a lot of lessons learned with every single book. And with every single book, the things that I'm learning, I then implement into the next book. There are meetings to be had, there's press releases, there's audiograms, there's Canva quotes or social media quotes, there's podcast interviews, articles. There's so much that goes into a successful book launch, not just the metadata that's behind it all, not just the keywords. And it's something that I've just been discussing with beautiful Liana, who is our image therapist and who discusses a very interesting aspect of the female journey towards menopause. Because if you hadn't figured out already, I am talking about the launch of my latest book, The Potent Power of Menopause. Linda, my publishing manager, her and I were discussing a few months ago, some time ago, that every book that I seem to write lands very beautifully at a transition in my life or something that's going on in the world. It's almost as like I have this, well, those of us who believe in energetic alignment and divine timing will know that when we plug in, everything that we do just aligns beautifully. I was just talking with Liana, and she was reminding me I need to breathe, I need to trust, I need to reach out, because it's been a while since I did an anthology. I think Lani's book, Standing in Strength, Lani Mulvey, where was the last anthology that I put out. The rest of the books have been my own. And so I get used to doing things by myself. I travel the world by myself. I was a single mum for a long time. Before that, I was a lone parent. My ex-husband worked overseas, working on our projects for our business. So I've got used to doing a lot of stuff by myself. And I think this is the thing, like when we are lone wolves and independent women, we forget to ask for help. We forget to reach out to those who love us, and let people know what we're going through. And a lot of the time, most people are busy with their own lives, busy with their own challenges, and they've got their own families and their own businesses or their own projects. And people like me, we don't like to be a burden, because at some point in our life we were made to feel like a burden. The other great thing about launching this book at the moment is the fact that I am in the throes of the early stages of menopause. And so the sleepless nights, that's getting to me. The waves of emotion. And I've been able to just tap into a lot of the chapters in this book and go, oh yeah, Yes, that's, yeah, okay, this is normal. This is, I don't normally do normal. But yeah, okay. Sue mentioned this. Yep. Fiona mentioned that. Yeah, Clarissa. Clarissa's chapter smacked me in the face the other night like a 10-ton truck. First time I read it, I related. But a couple of nights ago when I reread her chapter, yeah, that was a bit of a game changer. And then I had to go and read Anne's chapter because Anne's chapter is like a soothing hug. And yeah, there's a lot going on. And there's a lot that goes into a book launch. Like I said, you've got so many different dynamics that need to get right. And even though you've gone through the manuscript, you've had your proofreaders and your editors look over it, and you've done best editing that you can to make sure everything is right. When you send out your manuscript to your review team, because they are completely fresh eyes, they'll be reading it. And I have an international review team, so they're all over the world. And they're reading it from very different linguistic backgrounds. So English is a second language, as well as Australian, American, English, Swedish, Spanish. So there's a lot of people reading the book and putting lots of different eyes all over it. So what we can make sure that happens. So we can, that didn't make any sense at all, I don't think. So what we can ensure happens is that the book is readable for people and it can be understood by people whose first language is not English, and also by whose third and second language is not English. American English is very different to British English, for those that do not know that. When we are proofreading the book, we always go, okay, especially if it's an anthology. So Lani's anthology, Standing in Strength, because Lani was American, we published it in American English. Debbie, who is writing an anthology and who's pulled together an incredible group of women from around the world, it's Alive to Thrive, and it's the stories of 10 women who have attempted suicide, failed, and then gone on to thrive afterwards. Very powerful book. So much so that we're having to have legal copywriting and trigger warnings put in the book. And because Debbie is from England, we'll be publishing the book in British English. And it's a way of making sure that we stay true to the lead author's mission and vision and brand. And one of the things that I like to do when I work with people on their book, whether it's an anthology or whether it's a solo book, is to make sure that people hear their voice. One of my authors, Corey, he is from the South in America, so he has a proper Southern drawl. And when I read his book, I could hear his voice in my head. I could see his cheeky grin, and I encouraged him to keep that in the book. And somebody read it who did not understand American Southern drawl and said, I can't understand a word you're saying. It doesn't make any sense to me. But the problem is they wanted him to change it just for them. But had Corey had removed his Southern drawl from the book, then it wouldn't have been authentic. So when Corey showed up on podcasts and TV and lives, etc., there would have been a mismatch with the book. There would have been, people wouldn't have been able to read him and feel him and understand the culture and the dynamics of the community that he was writing about. So we had to make sure that so we got my American American proofreader to read it. And I reminded Corey that when authors like Toni Morrison or Irvine Welsh wrote their books. Toni Morrison, she writes in a Southern American accent. Irvine Welsh writes in a Scottish accent, so much so that not even I, who has a Scottish blood in her, I didn't understand most of it. I didn't understand most of Trainspotting. Even when I went to the cinema to watch Trainspotting 2, I went with somebody who was Scottish and I was like, what does that mean? Like, I have no idea what they're talking about. Does it come with subtitles? And the thing is, though, they went on to have massive hits. And one of the reasons why we create audiograms and why we do a lot of lives and we do a lot of interviews with all of the authors in the anthologies is so that people can hear their voices, so that people can get to understand where these people are coming from, so that people can relate and people can connect with the energy and with the culture within the books. And that is one of the reasons why when we are launching a book that is so culturally diverse, not only do we bring a level of richness to the book and to the stories that are shared, but also so that the people from different nation cultures and different subcultures and small cultures, religious cultures, work cultures, all the different cultures, so that they can relate to what's actually going on in the book. So it is tiring, but like I said at the very beginning of this little live, even giving birth is tiring. And there's never a right time to write or launch a book. And it's just like having a baby. Because you get pregnant sometimes at the most inconvenient times, but you don't say, oh, hang on a second, I just need to finish this. Oh, can you actually wait a moment? I need to just finish this business project. When the opportunity arises and you're invited to take part in a collaboration, whether it's a book or whether it's a business project or a social movement or a speaking engagement, the things we have to jump at it. If it's in alignment and it's on brand. Obviously, I'm not going to go and do, I'm not going to go and talk about lipsticks, or I'm not going to go and talk about fashion. I will introduce people to Liana for that. You don't come to Dawn for style advice. You come to me for books. You come to me for human rights and social justice and cultural diversity. That's what you speak to me about, and creating social change. You go and talk to Liana about the styling and the lipsticks and how to look like a goddess, even when you don't want to look, even though you don't feel like you're a goddess. But yes, so it is tough, but so is being a parent. So is being in business. And if we run away from the things that are tough, we don't grow. So yeah, it's a short one today. I know they started off under 10 minutes and this one's now, 13 minutes. And I think yesterday's was like 17 minutes. But yeah, quite a ride. You're with me as I'm in the middle of promoting this book and bringing it all to fruition, And the great news is that the Man Up book that we're producing at the moment, a book about redefining what it means to be a man in today's society. The gentlemen that are coming on board with that is getting very exciting. We've got some really powerful stories coming, and I'm really looking forward to working with this great bunch of guys. And yeah, if I say anymore, I'm really tired. There's no excuse. No excuses. All right. So I'm going to leave it there. If you would like to know more about the potent power of menopause, a culturally diverse perspective on feminine transformation, head on over to dawnbates.com/menopause. And you will be able to find on there a little bit more about the book. You will also, in the next few days, once it's propagated all over the 150,000 publishing platforms and online and offline stores and library systems that you can order the book from, you will be able to find all the details on there at a click of a link. You can also go into Waterstones and buy all my other books, which is great news, and Barnes and Noble and Borders and Bookstore and goodness knows how, Booktopia, they're all on there. So, but yes, you can also go to dawnbates.com/readers for all of my books. And if you would like to write a book with me, then do let me know. If you would like to also join the collaboration for the Man Up book, and you have an interesting story about what it's been like for you to go through the journey. Excuse me one second. If you would like to join us for the Man Up, redefining what it means to be a man in today's world, and you would like to be a role model for men, then let me know. You can contact me, dawnbates.com/contact. Or if you have a story, ladies, about what it's been like to be a childless woman, either through fertility problems, health challenges, or just choosing to not have children, then let me know. There are quite a few other books that we're working on. So yeah, come pitch me an idea. Let's see what we can do. And I'm going to wish you a very lovely evening, what's left of it, or a great day, wherever you are in the world. And I will see you. Well, I won't see you, but you'll see me tomorrow. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.